What is your reaction to Aaron Rodgers saying it's a do-or-die season?
I mean, he's right. And I like the fact that he verbalized that sometimes you can't hide from what's real. And what's real is that, last year was a major disappointment because of the promise of having him as our starting quarterback. No one's fault. Guy got hurt, fourth play of the season, and the season went poof, right then and there. He also is taking ownership of the fact he knows who he is. He knows why he's here, and he knows that the entire franchise's future, immediate future, relies on his ability to throw the ball in a manner that very few have ever been able to throw the ball. So I love the fact that he's not hiding from it. He's not being cute about it. He's just owning it.
Yeah, when you got a player that has the resume that Aaron Rodgers has and has the ability that he has shown us year after year, time after time, and he stands 10 toes down and says, it's on me? Oh, man. Where's my helmet? I know what a dialed-in Aaron Rodgers can do. And if you get that version, which it is a seeming and appearing that you are, everything's on the table.
Look, you're also talking about a guy, and Tim, you could relate to this. Basketball, it's a different sport, but the concept's the same, where you've got one of the greats to ever do something.
Yes.
And he has not played football in about a year and a half now. Obviously, he had the thumb injury at the end of his time in Green Bay. And then, of course, comes to New York and didn't play at all last season. So there's two ways to look at that for me. I'm gonna find it very positive, and that is, feels like he's got something to prove.
No question.
So you give me a great player with a chip on his shoulder, hard not to want to back a guy like that, right? And number two, and this one is me being a total fan. I own it. If you think this is crazy, it's probably as healthy as he's ever been, because his body is not taking any abuse in the last, 16 months or so. And when you are 40 years old, playing a young man's game and a violent game, I'm going to get the healthiest version of Aaron Rodgers that he's been in the last 2 or 3 years. So is there any validity to that?
There's some validity to it. I mean, obviously, there's also the con to that. There could be rust.
Sure.
But with him being so smart and knowing how to get the ball out and where he's going with the ball, pre-snap reads, all the things, you don't expect that rust to last long.
Yeah, here's the other great thing from the OTA yesterday in Florham Park, New Jersey, where the Jets have their training camp coming up this summer. Tyron Smith, our new left tackle, was dominating dudes yesterday, flattening guys out. And as the story goes from the guys I'm friendly with the New York Jets, that was a man amongst boys yesterday. And I say that because the New York Jets have one of the best defenses in all of football. And the report that I got yesterday is that nobody wanted to line up on the right side of that line because Tyron Smith announced his presence with authority yesterday and was dropping dudes.
With no pads on.
What happened? No, but it's a mindset, Greg. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
It is a mindset. When
No
you
pads.
walk on the turf, or in your case, the hardwood, I don't care what else is going on. What's the mindset?
No pads.
And the mindset is we're winning a Super Bowl. Everybody's playing all in on every snap. That means something to a team.
Voluntary minute.
What happened?
OTAs.
Okay, poo-poo it all you want. I'll be here all football season.
Let's talk about our next headline, which is the Cowboys OTAs, and Micah Parsons is not there. However, he is supposed to report next week, and he spoke about his offseason preparation and some of the people that doubt his conditioning. Here's what Micah Parsons had to say. To me, it bothers me that people would think that I'm not doing everything possible to be the best player I can be to help win a championship. The playoff loss hurts. I'm not worried about no money, no nothing. That failure sits deep more than anything else. Craig's did a big deal that he's absent from OTAs.
No, and I hate that people talk about it like it is a big deal. It's voluntary. And until it's not voluntary, you can't be critical of a guy, especially a defensive player. It's not like he's got to learn the playbook or understand new routes or a new system from an offensive coordinator, which might be complicated, and the language might be different. And I got to get on the same page timing-wise with 3 wide receivers and a tight end, all that stuff. It is different, offense versus defense in this regard. I'm sure he's in great shape. I am concerned that he throws, slow punches. I feel like I could beat him in a boxing match, but that guy's going to be just fine. If I'm a Cowboy fan, I'm not getting crazy about the fact that Mike is not there yet. My bigger concern is the headspace of CeeDee Lamb, because CeeDee Lamb has earned the contract, and Micah has as well, but he's a year away from it. And my bigger concern is, does the CeeDee Lamb no-show continue well into the summer without getting a new contract. That's a bigger story to me.
Yeah, it definitely is a bigger story, and especially when we saw the way that he showcased his frustration in that playoff loss against the Green Bay Packers early in that game. So CeeDee Lamb thing is definitely something to watch. But Micah Parsons, all these guys, they're training, they're working.
Right.
You can't emulate practice, you can't emulate the game. We all understand that, but what you can do is do what is available to you, and that's train the best way you know how, stay in shape, be ready to go when your number's called in voluntary OT.
Look, you worry about the fat offensive linemen who have a weight goal that you need them to get under, that most teams have for their heavier linemen. Even veterans have that. Look, we need you under 350. We need whatever the number is. When it's a wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb's case, or a star, I guess, flex linebacker in Micah Parsons' case, you're not worried about his weight. You know he's going to be in great shape. You're talking about 25-year-old kids who are gym rats who do nothing but play sports all day and work out all day and train all day and have nutritionists making sure they're eating the right way. Again, when you tell me that a player is missing a mandatory practice, then I got a concern. But if we're going to put the word voluntary in front of it, this is a non-story. The bigger story in Dallas is the fact that they have an owner who's no longer as committed to building the best possible team that he can. And that should be the only story this offseason as Jerry Jones continues to say one thing and do something totally different than what he says. This is not an all-in franchise when it comes to a commitment of bringing in as much talent as possible. They are not better than they were a year ago. They are worse than they were a year ago, and they did not win a single playoff game last year.
Can I say this?
You say
maybe he's telling them, look, maybe you have to earn that payday. Maybe you have to go out there. I gave you all a lot of money here first, and y'all looking for some more money.
Okay.
Come out here and show me that y'all worth that money
Fair
that
point.
y'all want.
So I'll tell you this.
And so even though they want it, they might be disgruntled. But why don't they prove to him that they're wrong?
Okay. Dak Prescott's that guy. I got no issue. If you tell me we're not going to give Dak Prescott another $200 million bucks,
that's what
I'm
he's
with
saying.
you on that.
That's what he's saying.
But I'm not with you on that when it comes to CD and Mike.
No,
with Dak, and you can't view them all the same. Dak Prescott's made $160 million bucks in his career and has 2 playoff wins. So if you're Jerry Jones and you go, I'm willing to risk the possibility that a year from now you leave and go somewhere else, but I'm not giving you another major contract until you do something in January. So on Dak, I think you're right. On Micah, I would disagree with you. And on CeeDee Lamb, if you're CeeDee Lamb, and you're about to go into the final year of a contract, and you've seen A.J. Brown get $100 million, and Devontae Smith get $75 million, and the other contracts that are out there, you've earned it.
But they still have time to sign them, right?
Yes, but there also comes a point, and I'm not sure how much you experience this yourself, but I know for a fact you know guys who have, there does come a point where feelings get involved. And I'm not too worried about it today, and tomorrow's going to be fine, and I can get to training camp without it. But there does come a point where, from a self-respect standpoint and a pride standpoint, where now you pissed me off. Now I would say to you, especially as a 25-year-old kid, F you. Now don't talk to me. I'll play out my contract, and I'll see you later.
Right.
That does happen too.
That's what I'm saying. Do that.
Well, okay, but the risk of that is now you lose your best wide receiver. And that's the risk.
That's on Dallas.
Yes, and it's an interesting place to be because there is a point of no return on that as well. Go ahead, Jacoby.
Moving on to our...
Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.